Thank you all for joining our 2025 Investor Day. This is an exciting day for us, one that for us and our team is much anticipated. So hopefully you all enjoy the day. For those of you who traveled here to be with us, thank you. I hope you have a chance to visit the tech tables, and we're showing off our team and the technology out there. No better way to understand it than to ask our talented team members and see it for yourself. And many of you joining online, thank you for joining us. I know many of our employees are as well. Before we get started, I just want to say how truly honored I am to have the opportunity to lead this iconic company into its next century. We have tremendous opportunities ahead, and we're going to show you that today. I've spent my entire 28 years of my career at Caterpillar, and I have a tremendous passion for our people, for our brand, for our products, for our dealers, and for our purpose of building a more sustainable world. So this is really, really personal to me. So today's going to be a fun day. My executive office teammates and I are excited to share our vision of Caterpillar's future. So let's go ahead and jump in. I believe the title of this chart says it all. We have a strong past, but we have an even stronger future ahead. And over the next 25 minutes, I'm going to talk to you really and break it down into three areas. One, our strong foundation. We've been performing at a very high level. And then two, how we're going to build on that strong foundation by evolving our strategy for profitable growth moving forward. And then finally, Andrew will cover the financials in detail at the end. You'll get some KPIs through each of the group presidents' presentations as well. But I'll talk to you about how we're going to raise the bar on our financial performance moving forward. So let's start with our strong foundation. We're a different company now than we were 10 years ago. We're definitely a different company than we were when I hired in with the company 28 years ago. The strategy that Jim Umpleby put in place in 2017 drove a step change in how we operate and put a discipline in our business that we didn't have before. And you can see it in our results. We have consistently delivered strong TSR. And it's whether you look at the 3-year, 5-year, or 10-year comparisons, we have outpaced the S&P 500, industrials, and capital goods over those time periods. And the strategy that delivered those results is built on what we call the operating and execution model. The O&E model is how we run our company. It's how we allocate resources, and it guides all of our strategic decisions. That's what put the discipline into the financial results that you're seeing. The results have been great. Let's look at a few of them. In 2024, which is our last full year of reported results, we delivered $11 billion of OPAC. As you can see, that's up 90% from 2019. Remember, our true definition of winning, our ultimate goal through all the metrics is growing OPAC dollars. We believe that has the highest correlation to total shareholder return. And I think the results over the last few years have proven that to be true. Services are a staple, a center point of our strategy for profitable growth. We set out to double services from a base of 2016. And in 2024, over that time frame, we added $10 billion of services revenue to our top line. That's up 71% from 2016. To grow services, we knew we had to be easier to do business with. So we set out to develop our own e-commerce platform. And in 2024, we delivered $18 million per business day of e-commerce revenue. Do the math, that's about $4.5 billion. The $18 million per day is well ahead of the targeted ramp we had set out. We went on this journey. We have over 1.5 million connected assets in the field reporting data to us every single day. That is a huge competitive advantage for us today. And when you hear throughout today how we're going to lean into technology moving forward, this is going to be an incredible competitive advantage for us, even more so into the future. And finally, from 2019 to 2024, we delivered over $40 billion of ME&T free cash flow. And as promised, we returned 99% of that to shareholders over that time frame. So these are great metrics that we look at. What does that mean for our metrics to you all? How have we done on our commitments to you? You can see we have consistently delivered. These are the targets that we put out in our 2019 Investor Day. And you can see for the top two metrics, adjusted operating profit margin, that go along with the corresponding sales level and the ME&T free cash flow ranges, we raised the bar on those targets in 2024. And over the last 6 years, we have consistently delivered on those metrics. And think about what's happened in the last 6 years. It's hard to believe, but we've had the pandemic, We had chip shortages, we've had supply chain challenges, we've had hyperinflation, we've had some geopolitical tensions, all of that going on in the world, and through all of it, our team has consistently delivered. And that's due to operating at a high level and the discipline from the O&E model. But our strong foundation is more than just how we're operating, the fact that we're operating differently now. All three of our segments operate in growing industries that have enormous opportunities for us moving forward. And here's a few of the secular trends, the mega trends that we think will impact our business and give us opportunities moving forward. Urbanization. It's expected over the next 10 years, between now and 2035, over 800 million people are going to move to urban areas. That's going to drive the need for a lot of infrastructure. We all know what's happening with digitalization of the world, what's going on with data centers. I think it's easy, we sometimes forget the rapid acceleration. We were participating in it just with cloud computing, and then you bring AI and generative AI on top of it, and the growth has exploded. For data centers, it's estimated that 800 terawatt hours of compute power is going to be needed in the next 10 years. That's the equivalent of 15 New York cities when it comes to power. And not only do we see a world, well, data center CapEx, mind you, also we expect to soon approach $1 trillion a year before the end of this decade. And not only do we see a world where more electricity and energy is needed, it's going to take a growing mix of energy sources. Energy growth over the next 10 years worldwide is expected to be 8 times the US annual household consumption of today. So tremendous opportunities as we move forward. So bring that closer to home. What does that mean for Caterpillar? Looking at CI, we expect in the next 10 years, forecasts show global construction spending to be up 25%. And at the same time, global infrastructure spending is forecasted to be up 35%. In that 10-year time frame, we expect the demand for critical minerals to increase almost 40%. And that's what we do in RI. We help our customers get critical minerals. In global mining sector CapEx, that forecast only is published through 2030, but it's expected to be up 50% between now and 2030. And then we talked about data center growth. Power demand from data centers is expected to triple in the next 10 years. And then also, not only is energy demand continuing to grow, but according to the IEA, 50% of the energy mix in 2035 is still going to come from oil and gas. And inside the oil and gas mix, natural gas becomes an ever more increasing and important fuel for our world. And you're going to hear Jason talk about that today. That's a good thing for Caterpillar. In fact, by the end of this decade, US LNG exports are expected to double. And for Caterpillar, we play in the entire value chain when it comes to natural gas. So why do I put this chart up here? Right? The data center opportunity and AI, you're going to hear about that today from our team. It's a significant opportunity for us. We're excited about it. It's real. And we have good line of sight to it. But that's not the only opportunity we have. We have opportunities in all three of our segments moving forward. And that's what you're going to hear about from our team today, how we're going to go get it. Even inside E&T, it's not just about power generation and data centers. We have great opportunities in our oil and gas business as well. So our foundation is strong. We're operating at extremely high levels. We've changed the way we operate the company with financial discipline. We have great end markets and opportunities for all segments. How are we going to evolve our strategy to take advantage of those opportunities? That's what I want to spend the bulk of my time with you on this morning. This strategy gear in this picture represents the strategy we put in place under Jim Umpleby in 2017, the one that's delivered the results that you've seen. I was part of the 20-person team that put that strategy together. I was running our finance and corporate strategy group in 2017. On that team also were group presidents Bob DeLonga and Denise Johnson, who you'll hear from today. The three of us, along with our executive office teammates, have been executing this strategy to deliver the great results and momentum that you're seeing right now. So we believe in this strategy, right? It's working. This is our foundation, and we're committed to it. We're committed to our purpose. It's still to build a better, more sustainable world. But it's time to build on that strategy. So let's talk about how we're going to build on that moving forward. The first thing we've done is added a mission statement. We have to be obsessed with our customer success if we're going to be successful moving forward. So our mission is solving our customers' toughest challenges. This is the room. It's a little bigger than this. We're getting ready for this week, but we have our leadership conference in every year. So last year in this very stage, in this room, we have our top 250 to 270 leaders globally come in, and they get to spend time with the executive office. We talk about the strategy, what's going well, what's not, what do we need to do moving forward. And during the 2 days, 2.5 days we're together, a lot of times we'll bring dealers and customers in to present to the group. Last year we had the CEO of one of our largest and most loyal data center customers come to talk to the group. And it's an unscripted hour. We give them an hour and we say, tell us the good, the bad, the ugly of how it's going with us, why you buy Caterpillar, what do you need from us, what do you expect from us? And over that hour, he proceeded to talk about how he needed more than an equipment provider. He could go to lots of suppliers of equipment. What he was looking for was a partner that could help him solve his problems. And in fact, the words he used, the exact quote, and it stuck with our team, I'll tell you that, is, solve my problems and I'll buy it. And I believe that's true whether you're talking about our largest customers all the way down to the retail CI customer who owns one skid steer. They're running businesses. They want a partner that can help them solve their toughest challenges. I spend as much time as I can with customers. It's hard to get out to see them sometimes, but I spend as much time as I can with customers in all three segments. So do the group presidents. We spend time with our dealers and with customers, and we hear consistent themes from our customers when it comes to the challenges that they're running into today. Things like safety risks. Everybody wants their workforce and their job sites to be safer. Productivity challenge, or labor shortages. Customers consistently talk about struggling to find skilled operators today and skilled technicians to work on their equipment. We hear about productivity challenges and job overruns that prove to be costly to their bottom lines, and at the same time, their job sites continue to become more and more complex. Customers still need help, particularly our mining customers, on their sustainability challenges. They haven't abandoned their sustainability goals, and we need to support them on that journey. And then the latest one that we hear quite often is the need for reliable power. We hear that all the time. You know that's happening from data center customers, but it's spilling over into the other segments as well. So our new strategy, or refreshed strategy for profitable growth, is really built on 3 growth pillars to help our customers solve these challenges. And this is how we're going to do it. The first one is commercial excellence. Second, we need to be the clear leader in advanced technology, both on and off machine. And we're going to transform how we work internally to get the job done. So you're going to hear the group presidents talk to you today about all of these growth pillars and bring it to life for their particular part of the business and how it applies. But I want to spend a little bit of time giving you my thoughts at a higher level so you see the types of changes we're talking about here. So let's talk about commercial excellence. We're going to get closer than ever to our customers. If we're going to solve their toughest problems, we have to understand their operations and their job sites. And we can't do that unless we get closer to them. And one of the ways we're going to do that is driving more direct engagement with strategic accounts. Our largest customers who own large fleets that cross dealer territories, many of them want to have a relationship with Caterpillar, and they do. We've done this with great success in E&T. It started in oil and gas, but we've really had tremendous success in our data center business and power generation. We have direct relationships with most of the hyperscalers and data center customers. It allows us to plan, understand their technology needs, solve their problems, drive a level of consistency. But we do it with our dealers. It doesn't mean our dealers aren't critically important. They are. The customer gets the best of both worlds here. They get a relationship with us, but they also get world-class dealer network on the ground with a local workforce, local contacts, all the technicians they need to service their job site. We're going to replicate what we've done to great success in E&T and in data centers into mining and also into our largest construction customers moving forward. We're renewing our commitment to services. When customers buy our equipment, they rely on us and our dealers to keep them running. Downtime is incredibly costly to our customers. Services is good for our customers, it's good for our dealers, and it's good for Caterpillar. And finally, we're going to have tailored solutions for our customers around the globe. We can't be one size fits all in today's world. Tony will talk to you a lot about this today, how we've reorganized our commercial teams internally to have more boots on the ground with our dealers regionally. Similar sized construction customers and contractors have different requirements and different needs and different challenges when you're talking to them in the Middle East versus South America versus the US. We need to have our teams with them and tailor the solutions that will solve their challenges. And of course, we're going to do all this by growing with our world-class dealer network. Our dealer network is our single competitive advantage, and it will continue to be. But we're going to make sure that they're investing and modernizing with technology, and they're investing to keep up with our growth ambitions as we move forward. So that's a high-level commercial excellence. The second pillar, we are going to lean into technology in a heavy way moving forward. And I believe by integrating our off-machine digital solutions with our on-machine technology, we'll unlock tremendous value for our customers. So how are we planning to do that? Well, one, we're going to accelerate our world-class and industry-leading digital solutions by continuing to add features and to drive further adoption with our customer base and having our dealers help us drive that adoption. We need to continue to be easier to do business with and get our customers into our digital ecosystem. We're going to help our customers with safety and productivity by continuing to enhance and release features on machines like operator assist, grade control, collision avoidance, and task autonomy. If you have a second, if you haven't already, talk to our team about grade control at one of the tech stations. Denise will talk to you today about driving faster adoption of autonomy in mining. There's a lot of opportunity to continue to drive mining autonomy. And then many of you may have seen our partnership with NVIDIA, our plan to deploy the latest Jetson Thor technology on our machines and expand autonomy to other parts of our machine portfolio. One of the tech stations talks about Luckstone and our move into quarries, so you can see that in action out there today as well. And we'll move into other areas of construction that make sense and drive value for our customers. And then finally, as I mentioned, customers like our mining customers still need support on their sustainability journeys. So we're going to continue to invest to make sure they have the right powertrains, whether that's more efficient diesel, diesel electric, battery electric, hybrids, alternative fuels. They have the powertrain they need to meet their sustainability goals in moving forward. We believe that leading the way in digital and technology not only is going to be good for our customers, it'll be a differentiator for us as we move forward. And you'll hear Bob talk a lot about that in his section today. So the third growth pillar, finally, transforming how we work. We're going to continue to win with our amazing people at Caterpillar. And we're going to do that by continuing to invest in their skill sets and upskilling them and making sure they have the right tools to do the job. Many of you may have seen as part of our centennial as well, on our Centennial Day, April 15th, along with our 100 years, we pledged $100 million to invest in the workforce of the future. And I'm proud to say we made the first investment on that pledge 2 weeks ago, and what a better place to do it than the workforce in Indiana. We made that announcement at our Lafayette engine facility, where many of you were able to visit with us earlier this year, where we're trying to double capacity off of a 2024 base. We need a talented workforce there to help us grow. So that's the first of many exciting announcements of how we're investing in the workforce of the future. Second, we're going to continue to invest and modernize our manufacturing footprint. We have to do this if we're going to keep up with our growth ambitions. This is another exciting area of our partnership with NVIDIA. Last week, NVIDIA had their conference in Washington, D.C. I don't know if many of you were able to tune in. Jensen showed and mentioned on the stage, we have launched and he announced our first factory digital twin in partnership with them. That was from our large mining truck facility in Decatur, one of the manufacturing lines on there. We are at the tip of the spear, the very beginning of this journey, and there's tremendous opportunity to make ourselves more efficient and use this technology to modernize our factories. It's exciting work, and we're just getting started. And then finally, we'll have a continuous improvement mindset inside Caterpillar and deploy technology internally to become more efficient in everything that we do. So these growth pillars are going to be critically important. Those pillars sit on a foundation of operational excellence. And operational excellence should look very familiar to you. If you study the gear, I talked to you about at the beginning, the existing strategy that's not going away, that's what this is. We're going to continue to operate the company using the O&E model with the discipline we've instilled over the last 7 to 8 years. We're going to have a relentless focus on product quality, on lean, on having competitive costs, and driving velocity through our factories to get customers the product when they need it. That's not going away. And of course, the bedrock of all of this is our values in action. We will live our values every single day, and it will guide everything that we do. This is how we're building on our existing strategy for profitable growth. You're going to hear the group presidents talk to you and bring this to life for each of their segments throughout the rest of this morning. So we're excited today to get this launched. So we have our strategy set, but we're also organizing ourselves for success. One of the things that we did this summer internally was reorganized a little bit. We moved our Chief Technology Officer and Chief Digital Officer and their teams closer together under one group president, Bob DeLonga. That's meant to, the teams were working together before, but it's meant to put them even closer together and unlock innovations and bring the physical and digital world together when it comes to technology. And we've already made great strides in innovations in the short amount of time of having them closer together. Bob will talk to you about some of those things today. We're going to save some of those because I think the announcement went out today. We're going to also keynote CES this year in January, where we want to unveil some of the great innovations that we're working on. So that's really exciting for us moving forward. Also, effective today, we are announcing a name change for energy and transportation. We're renaming that segment to Power and Energy. We believe that better reflects our largest segment and the largest growth opportunity we have right now, and helps people better understand what it is that segment does. And to coincide with that name change, effective January 1st, we're going to move our rail division from the Power and Energy team into RI. When you think about locomotives and what they do, they're a machine that moves resources. There are a lot of synergies to this move. So there are two benefits of this. One, it allows Jason and his team to focus on power and energy exclusively, which is engines, generator sets, and industrial gas turbines. Two, it drives a lot of clarity for you all once we start reporting this way into the margin profile and the growth opportunity and growth rates of power and energy. But also, there are tremendous synergies, I believe, that will get unlocked by moving rail into RI. We have common customers today. Mining customers buy locomotives. There are common technology roadmaps when it comes to sustainability. And internally inside Caterpillar, we already share common components and some common manufacturing footprint. So we're excited about these changes, and I believe these are going to really help set ourselves up for success and to execute this strategy moving forward and drive greater focus for our teams on solving our customers' problems. So we've talked about our strong foundation. We're operating at a different level than we ever have. We have tremendous opportunities in all of our end markets. We have a refreshed strategy for profitable growth. Now we've organized ourselves for success. So how does that translate to results? What does that mean for you all and how to measure us? Well, we're going to continue to raise the bar on our financial expectations. Andrew's going to cover this in more detail in a little bit, and you'll see some KPIs, additional KPIs from each of the segments. But I want to cover the high-level metrics and how we're going to raise the bar here before I turn it over to the team. The first thing we're going to do is invest. A lot of the growth we've been able to drive has been within the capacity and the constraints that we already had. We've talked to you about starting our investment already in large engines. In order for us to keep up with the growth, we're now going to have to invest in capacity moving forward. So we expect our CapEx for machinery, power, and energy to be 2 times when you look at the time period 2025 to 2030 when compared to 2019 to 2024. And that's on average. Because of the capacity, Andrew will talk to you about this, but it'll be heavier in 25 and 26 and then probably level off a little bit more in the outer years. We're also going to continue to invest in modern manufacturing. That's going to require some CapEx investment. We've talked to you about our large engine investment. No change to that previously announced capacity expansion. What we are announcing today, though, is we've started a capacity expansion for our Solar Turbines, industrial gas turbine business, to add capacity 2.5 times the level of 2024 capacity. This is a really exciting time for us in power and energy. We're doing this based on the confidence we have, the momentum we have, the orders and backlog that we have, and the tremendous interest from our customer base. And this isn't just the larger Titan 350, it's the entire product lineup that we're getting great demand for. It's not just prime power for data centers, that is a new and exciting opportunity, but it's also to support our oil and gas customers. As I mentioned before, oil and gas is still going to be 50% of a growing total energy mix in 2035. We're going to move a lot of natural gas, and Jason will talk to you about that. It's really important. So this capacity expansion is really, really important for our growth ambitions. And it's exciting news. And those of you who get to go see our Solar Turbines DeSoto facility today, I'm sure we'll have more questions for Derek York and the team when you're there. If we're going to lead the way in digital and technology, we're also going to have to increase our investments there. The same comparative time periods, we expect to invest 2.5 times more in digital and technology moving forward. Bob will talk to you about a lot of the things that we're working on and what that investment's going to go towards. So what do we get for these investments? Well, I mentioned these earlier. These are the targets that we set out and commitments we made to you all in 2019. And on the top two, the ones are the cash flow and adjusted operating profit margin, we raised the bar in 2024. And as I mentioned, we have consistently delivered great results against those targets. So how are we raising the bar moving forward? Well, the first thing we're going to do is based on the great momentum we have in the business, the backlog we have, the tremendous opportunities we see due to the trends in all the industries we serve, and the confidence we have in our growth strategy that you're going to hear from our team later today. We're adding a metric. From 2024 through 2030, we're targeting to grow our top line at a CAGR of 5 to 7%. That's an increase from what we've delivered from the time period 2019 to 2024, which was 4%. We have great momentum in the business, and so we feel like it's time to put this metric out. Our teams are going to show you, as we move throughout today, how we plan to achieve that CAGR. Based on that, we're going to extend our ranges for operating profit margin at the corresponding sales level. So today the range is from sales of $42 to $72 billion. Inside that range, that sales range, no change to the margins. We're going to extend that from 72 to 100 billion, and Andrew will talk to you about the details of these ranges a little bit later, but I would say two things for you. One, from 72 to 100, we've tried to keep the same profit to sales pull-through as we have from 42 to 72. And the second thing I would say is the ranges that you're seeing here, and Andrew will share, are inclusive of the investments that we talked about on the prior slide. I mentioned our doubling down and recommitting to services. Our new target for services is $30 billion by 2030. Our current machinery, power, and energy free cash flow range is $5 to $10 billion. We actually raised it to that in 2024. It used to be 4 to 8. And moving forward, we're targeting a range of $6 to $15 billion. We have great momentum in the business and continue to generate great cash. And on the last two, no change in our capital allocation methodology. We still plan to return substantially all MP&E free cash flow to shareholders, and to keep in line with our dividend aristocrat status, continue to target high single-digit dividend raises, high single-digit percentage dividend raises between now and 2030. We have a great momentum in the business. We believe in the strategy. That's why we're raising the bar on these targets. We're really excited about our future. So what you're going to hear for the rest of the day is from my colleagues in the executive office, my teammates. You're going to hear how they're going to use the growth pillars for their particular segment and how each of them contributes to this 5 to 7% CAGR that we're targeting. In power and energy, Jason's going to talk to you about adding capacity to capture the historic growth that we're seeing. Tony will talk about commercial excellence, getting closer to our customers, tailoring our solutions to meet their needs. And Denise will talk about how we're shaping the future of mining with technology. And when Bob comes up, he'll talk about the investments in digital and technology, how we're blending the physical and digital, and how we believe it's going to be a differentiator for us moving forward. It is a truly incredible time at Caterpillar. Our future is so bright, and we are excited about our strategy launch. We're excited about the opportunities we have in all of our businesses. I'm confident by executing this strategy, we'll continue to grow OPACC dollars. Remember, that is our ultimate goal. And when we do that, it'll continue to drive strong total shareholder return as we move forward. We're committed to this strategy, and we're excited about our future. So we have a lot in store for you today. I'll be back up for Q&A, but right now I'd like to turn it over to Jason Kaiser, Group President of Power and Energy. Thank you.